Oh, music was very good. And actually, dare I say, I actually kind of sort of like the prequels. I liked Phantom Menace. Sorry, I kind of did. Yeah, Anakin was kind of annoying, right? Like that's not great. But I kind of liked the prequels, and so I definitely liked the Phantom Menace. It felt very much like a Star Wars film. It definitely had that feeling of that the original trilogy kind of had. Um, what is it? The middle one, the second one. What was it? I don't know why I'm blanking on it. Um, Episode two, right? Yippee! Yippee! All right, that's not one of the best parts of the film. I agree with you. I agree with you there. Yeah, yeah. Listen, George Lucas was not the best writer. I mean, his wife had to step in and save Star Wars. So Episode 4 was saved by his wife because he was not the best writer on the planet. And, he knew how to surround himself. Like, so think about this, right? So he had Episode 4, right? Star Wars. Um, that came out, A New Hope. We all know it as New Hope. It really came out of Star Wars. That was kind of saved in the editing room by his wife. Then you had Empire Strikes Back, which is, in my opinion, one of the greatest films ever. I love Empire Strikes Back, and that was written by somebody else, right? Yes, story concept by George, and George had his big hand in it, but all the character development, all the whatchamacallit, all the dialogue, etc., was written by somebody else, right? He didn't write all the dialogue. So he had somebody else that was really good at putting a story together, help put his story together for Empire Strikes Back. And then Return of the Jedi, kind of same sort of deal, right? Like the guy was really the director, overarching story guy, but as far as writing the dialogue and getting into the nitty gritty of things, that was somebody else that was responsible for that. And then you kind of fast forward to the prequels, or rewind to the prequels, however you want to think about that. And that was all George, right? That was all George Lucas. So the hollow kind of writing, stuff like that, that was him. And that was the specific feel that he wanted for those films, right? Um, which big mistake. He was also involved in Indiana Jones, the Crystal Skull or whatever, where you had interdimensional beings that look like aliens, that sort of thing. He actually helped develop that, which, believe it or not, and I believe it because he's made some previous mistakes, big ones. Anyway, so no, he's not the best writer of dialogue, right? Not the best at that, but but overall, the story was his, that sort of thing. He knew when to bring in people, and actually, one of the guys that helped with Empire Strikes Back, and I think also Return of the Jedi, he asked him to come back for the prequels, and he said no. He totally like just shut George down. And then Disney was able to convince him, I'm sure with a shitload of money, was able to convince him to come back for Episode 7. So one of the reasons Episode 7 feels a lot like the other films, beyond the fact that a lot of the story is fucking A New Hope, right? We have yet another Death Star, and there's a lot of parallels there, is because they kind of brought back one of the writers that helped, George with Episode 5 and Episode 6. So anyway, that's my feeling on that.